A stern call for more testing of COVID-19 in Ontario. Paul Kelly addresses the first community infection of COVID-19 in Gravenhurst. And another local company steps up to help with the growing need for equipment. All that and more coming up right now. Welcome to Cogeco News for April 8th. I'm James Bowler with what's happening in your community. And to our top story, locally and provincially, there's a call now for more testing for COVID-19. A bit of good news today, as no confirmed cases of COVID-19 have been reported in Muskoka. However, the infection rate overall in the Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit continues to rise. And Dr. Gardner says there is more capacity for more testing now, which should be happening.
My understanding actually is that at this time, there's greater capacity now for testing, that the assessment centers have the ability to take more people to test. The laboratories are able to take more testing, and there's consideration being made about opening up the criteria for who should be tested. And so we've positioned to our facilities that if they have the capacity to do testing of other individuals, they should do so.
Doug Ford sternly echoed that thought today during his daily address, putting it firmly that he wants more testing done daily, period.
No more excuses. It's unacceptable. We have the capacity now. Before, I understand, we didn't have the reagent. We didn't have all the testing. We have the testing capabilities. We have the assessment centers capabilities. We have the reagent. We say we can do 13,000 a day. Then we need to start doing 13,000 every single day. I want to see every single long-term care facility tested, every patient. I want to see the healthcare workers tested at the long-term care, along with senior residents. I want to see every frontline healthcare worker in this province tested, along with the first responders, our police, our fire, our paramedics. We owe it to them, along with other people being tested. The days are done of these 2,000 and 3,000 a day being tested. And moving forward, we need to see 13,000 tests every single day.
And a bit of good news for essential workers as well, as Premier Ford has called for closures of grocery stores on Friday and Sunday for the Easter long weekend, giving these workers a much-needed break. And of course, a good reminder of the importance of adhering to social distancing and guidelines set out by medical experts. Paul Kelly, Mayor of Gravenhurst, says there are now 6 cases of COVID-19 in the community as of April 8th.
We do have the most recent information as of yesterday. Gravenhurst does have 6 COVID-19 confirmed cases. Of those 6, 5 of them are travel related. 1 was acquired in the community. Don't know the details around that one. We certainly are aware that there is a great concern about people returning from vacation and from the south, snowbirds and so on. So we have a large population that do return to Gravenhurst every year after having been away for the winter. The community acquired one is questioned. We don't know how that would have happened. I suspect, as typical from the Simcoe Muskoka Health Unit, that they'll be following up and inquiring as to where that may have been obtained. But at this point in time, we do have 6 identified and being taken care of by the health unit, the hospitals if need be, or self-isolation. So it is a concern about the possibility of acquiring it by the community, and I know the health units across Canada are all concerned about that still being an issue. And so it does go back to the point that everyone is talking about, which is maintaining that 2 meter, 6 feet distance between each other. And those, I'm pretty pleased with our community. Not hearing a whole lot of people that are not adhering to that requirement. But there are some still, and it is absolutely critical. And from what I understand, the next 2 weeks in particular are going to be critical that people adhere to that 2 meters. Washing hands continues to be the issue, and trying to stay home as much as possible. Sure, of course, people need to get groceries, they need to get medications, but truly, it is a time when we all need to be thinking about the importance of staying at home. So those are critical pieces as well.
We are taking our first break, but stay with us. Scott Aitchison will be joining us right after the break. Welcome back. Joining me from his home office is MP Scott Aitchison. Scott, thanks very much for taking the time today.
Thanks for having me, James.
So, Scott, I just wanted to check in with you because, this has been a quite turbulent time for everyone. But you are new on the scene of being an MP, and you've kind of had your feet put to the fire here in terms of helping out with the community. I know helping the community is not something you're new to, but being an MP in that position is new for you. So I'm just curious how you've been dealing with that situation.
Well, it's a really good question, actually. I've had a few moments where I felt like if I was still the mayor, I would feel more useful because I could be actually making some decisions about some things. And of course, right now, the biggest thing that I'm spending my time doing is listening to the concerns and the questions of constituents, small business owners. I hear from a lot of small business owners about some of the problems that exist with the programs that the government has announced so far. But the good thing about all of this is that the way we're communicating with each other as colleagues in Parliament is I hear from small business owners about the gaps that exist in the programs that have been proposed. And then I often hear, people will give me some suggestions on what they think could be done to fill those gaps and help out. And of course, we have a unique circumstance here in Parry Sound, Muskoka, with a number of tourism-related businesses and Main Street shops that they don't do a lot of business during the winter months, and so there are some unique challenges here. So that I'm able to share that. We have what we call caucus advisory committees. So Pierre Poilievre is our shadow critic for finance. And so we have a Zoom meeting once a week where we talk about his discussions with the Minister of Finance and the Finance Ministry and the rollout of these programs, but we're also able to share some of the issues that we're hearing. And of course, I'm hearing similar issues across the country. And of course, it actually helps inform us in terms of what the Conservative Party will do and what we are proposing to help small business. And one of those things, of course, has been a proposal to actually rebate the GST to all businesses for the last 12 months. That'd be something that would actually, help some of the small businesses in our communities actually, keep the doors from closing completely until this is passed. So it is actually working very well. All of this discussion is going on, and for the most part, without nasty partisan banter, which is good. But I would say the biggest challenge for me has been just trying to keep abreast of all the changes, the programs. I have an amazing staff that are working full-time as well. We've been helping a number of folks from the riding get home from all over the place, all kinds of different countries all over the world. And We continue to try to answer questions about the new Canada Emergency Response Benefit and the various different programs. So it's a learning curve, and I've had moments of frustration. I would much rather be out and about in the community, but I recognize that what I'm doing is important, and so I got to stay focused and keep it up.
Well, Scott, and I just want to outline what you just said. You know, that there is help from you for people in the community when it comes to this community emergency fund, because I have heard from people saying, I don't qualify for EI, I don't seem to qualify for this emergency fund, so where do I go? And I do believe that you are the point person for that.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm encouraging anybody with questions about any of that to call my offices, both of them. My staff are working full time. We're not able to accept walk-in traffic right now, but certainly call or email. I've been personally answering a lot of direct message questions on things like Facebook Messenger, for example. We'll try to get you the answers. And if in fact you're one of those people that seems to fall between the cracks in this program, we need to hear from you too, to make sure that we're getting that message to the government so that they can address that. The Prime Minister has been on every day. He's made very clear that they're working to fill those gaps, and that some people are falling through the cracks. They don't want that. We need to hear from you too.
All right. Well, Scott, I wish we could have more time to chat, but we were short on time, so I will have to say goodbye, but I appreciate you taking the time.
Anytime. Thanks, James.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Well, there is an unprecedented demand for personal protective equipment as the coronavirus pandemic is nearing 1.5 million cases worldwide. In Ontario, companies are retooling their production lines to meet the need for PPE. Clark Heipel has this story.
Leving's Canvas Company has been locally owned and operated since 1995. Over those years, there has never been such a demand for certain products, those products being PPE during this COVID-19 pandemic. They are making masks similar to the one I'm wearing here and face shields. Let's go inside and take a look at the full production overhaul.
Under normal circumstances, this shop would be producing boat and trailer covers among many other products, but not during the coronavirus pandemic. Additional staff has been hired to produce hundreds of face masks and shields every single day.
We've purchased 5 new sewing machines to help with the production here. Changing ways, cleaning, like we've cleaned our facility, like pretty intensive cleaning to keep things as sterile as possible, as clean as possible. Extra cutting tables, usually it's a staff of 3 to 4 people. Now we're up to 11 people total here. It's been unbelievable of a whirlwind.
So that's a big success story because many businesses are consolidating, if not shutting down entirely. So you're able to ramp up. So that's a unique position to be in right now.
Yeah, very unique. Also feels good. We've been able to give some people that have been laid off from other jobs and had the sewing experience some employment for during this time.
And who's purchasing them? Where are they going to?
We have purchasers from large companies and group homes to some medical staff and just the average person that cannot buy a mask for their protection over the shelf.
Okay.
And we're sending to all over Ontario. I've got some on the way to BC. We've done some to the East Coast. Very popular areas been Ottawa and the Toronto area.
By next week, this shop is expected to produce 1,000 units per day. Reporting for Cogeco News, I'm Clark Heipel.
And we are taking another break, but stay with us for more after this. And joining me now from the Huntsville Hospital Foundation is Catherine Crane. Catherine, thank you very much for taking the time.
My pleasure.
So, Catherine, I'm sure, as we all know at this point in time, this is a very trying time for the hospitals in the area. And, I can't imagine some of the need that's coming in for the Huntsville Hospital. So, can you kind of give me an idea, first of all, of what that need looks like and how both the Hospital Foundation and the hospital itself are working to meet that?
Sure. Both hospitals under the MOC umbrella are preparing for the surge that may arise from the COVID-19. So in order to do that, there's a lot of communication going on with the senior teams and the managers and then to the front line. So they're doing a great job actually preparing, and they're in constant contact with the Ministry of Health and the health units as well. So there's a lot going on. They're very busy. And the assessment centers actually just opened up today in both communities. So everything is getting in place, and I think we're in a good position at this point. Having said that, the foundations are raising funds to help offset some of the things that we're offering for the frontline staff and also for the extra equipment and the needs of the hospitals at this point.
Catherine, I don't think this question has actually been asked yet. Both these foundations play a pivotal role in helping raise money for necessary equipment that constantly needs to be replaced at these hospitals. Is there a possibility, because of the diversion of funds, that we're going to see, I guess, sort of a dip in the funds that are, when we get back to normal, are we going to see a dip in the funds that are meant to go towards the replacement of these equipment?
Well, I mean, yes, it's, the environment out there is pretty grim right now. People are out of work, and those who have means as far as, stocks from the stock markets, which we do receive funds from people who send us their securities, and those are down right now. So it's hard to know exactly what will happen. I think it will depend on how quickly we recover from all of this, and right now, we're in a good position to fund what is needed at the hospital. But definitely, there's other pieces of equipment that we've made commitments to with the hospital for things like, diagnostic equipment needs and beds and any kind of equipment that you can imagine. We've made commitments for this year that may have to be pushed back to another year, which is a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, I'm guessing that, after this new norm, after we get back to normal, we're going to have to prepare ourselves for the possibility that this equipment is going to have to last quite a bit longer than it was expected to.
Yes, and it's not always feasible. Technology changes, and there are pieces of equipment in the hospital that sometimes come to the end of their life cycle and can no longer be serviced. So, we have a priority list of equipment that we work with the hospital to make sure that the pieces of equipment that we're purchasing are on the priority list. So we have that list. So when there's new items needed, then sometimes that list does have to be pushed back another year. But we're hoping to recover from this quickly, and we're definitely going into it with a lot of optimism, because we have some great donors out there.
So let's snap back to now. What can people be doing to help with what the hospital foundations are doing?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, James?
Yeah, what can people be doing in order to assist with the hospital foundations?
What could the community be doing?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. So the community is actually doing a lot right now. So in the first few weeks, there's been a lot of companies and individuals donating N95 masks and gloves and all kinds of items that are called PPEs, and it's personal protective equipment. And you'll see on our Facebook and on our website, we've received a lot of donations just to make sure that our hospital is equipped if this surge does come. And, it's just amazing to see that generosity. And it was started by Deerhurst Resort, actually. They were trained and ready for any kind of pandemic. And, they reached out and they had thousands of pieces of PPE equipment for us, which was really the start of the surge of people wanting to donate to us. So we've had a number of companies and dentists and doctors donate their equipment. So that's been really helpful. We're also looking at feeding our frontline staff, because as you know, if they're not healthy and can't work, then we're in trouble, because these are people that are looking after us and not just the physicians, not just the nurses, but anyone who's working in the hospital right now is part of the team. The health team needs to look after themselves, and so we're getting donations from the community for food for the staff, both in the day and night shifts. So that's what we're working on now. It's pretty impressive, the amount of people that want to help.
Yeah,
Sorry, I should mention that there's also a group of people out there sewing masks for the community. It's not a need at the hospital right now to have homemade masks, but there is a group out there who have gotten together and they're sewing masks. So everyone wants to do something.
It's pretty amazing the way the community has come together. Catherine, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say thank you very much to you guys. I mean, without you, a lot of these things wouldn't happen. I know the frontline staff, they're out there, they're on the front line, obviously, but you know, it's the people behind the scenes like you that help make these things happen. So thank you.
Well, we have a great team, and thanks so much for everything that you do to report it out to the community.
Well, thanks again. And we are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Here's a look at what made headlines today. A bit of good news, as neither Muskoka nor Parry Sound had any new confirmed cases of COVID-19. The Simcoe-Muskoka District Health Unit has called for more testing of the virus as the province expands its horizons. And essential workers in grocery stores are getting a few days off, as the Premier has called for grocery store closures on Friday and Sunday. And you can stay up to date with all the local COVID situations here by watching Cogeco News or 24/7 on our Facebook page or website, yourtv.tv. That is Cogeco News. For more information on the program, head over to yourtv.tv or connect with us on social media by searching Your TV Muskoka. As mentioned, we have Facebook. We also have Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And remember to watch us live at 5, Monday to Thursday. From everyone here at Cogeco News, thanks for watching. Stay home, stay safe.